Hi, I am Shubham Banerjee and I am going to speak on the topic Consumer Redressal Forum. Coming to the basic concept, what is a Consumer Redressal Forum? It is a council that has been set up to advise and assist the consumer of their basic rights. Now, it is a council which has been set up to work together for the promotion of the and protection of the consumers, and also they make investigation and give publicity in the matters concerning consumer interest. They take steps for promoting and educating the consumer of their rights and make them aware so that the consumer can utilize their rights. Now, these consumer councils also advise the government in various policy making decisions. Though these advices are recommendatory in nature, but they play a major role in the policy making. Now, coming to the various types of consumer forums, coming to the district consumer forum, in which cases concerning goods and services and compensation which is less than 20 lakhs are being filed in district consumer forums. Now, coming to the composition of the district consumer forums, in which its president shall be a judge of the district court, and also its two members, out of which one should be a woman and should not be less than the age of 35 years old, and also possesses a bachelor degree from a reputed university, and also she should have a 10 years experience on the field of commerce, law, administration, accountancy and industries. Now, next, coming to the state consumer redressal forums, in which the cases which value of goods and services and compensation claimed should be between 20 lakhs and 1 crore. And now, coming to the composition of the state redressal commission, the composition, its president shall be a person who is or has been qualified to be the judge of the high court, and also two other members, in which the one of its member should be a woman who should not be less than 35 years old, and also should possess a bachelor degree from a reputed university, and also should have a minimum work experience in the field of law, commerce, administration, accountancy and industry, public affairs. Now, coming to the National Redressal Commission, in which the value of goods and services and compensation should be more than 1 crore rupees. Now, coming to the composition of the National Redressal Commission, its president should be a person who is or has been a judge of the Supreme Court, and also four other members, out of which one of them shall be a woman who possesses a bachelor degree from a recognized university. Also, she should be a person of ability, integrity and standing, and have adequate knowledge and experience of at least 10 years in the field of law, commerce, administration, economics, etc. So the next part which you will be looking forward will be the role of RTI. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Rudzanik Biswas. And coming to RTI, what is RTI? RTI means Right to Information. Under Section 3 of the RTI Act 2005, it states that every citizen of this country has the right to seek information from any public authority. But one must remember that this right is not an absolute right. This is backed by certain conditions which is to be met to get access to this information. Like under Section 8 of this said Act, none of the public authorities is under the obligation to disclose any information which goes or affects the sovereignty and integrity of the country. So why do we need RTI? First, it promotes transparency and governance. It enables people to look how the government works and to question the public officials. In doing so, this encourages the citizens to create or demand accountability. Number two, it promotes economic growth. You see, RTI creates a rule-based environment, a good environment, which gives confidence, boosts the confidence of the citizens, thus which eventually leads to economic growth. Third, improves service delivered and government functions. Government functions significantly become better when they are kept in check. Better infrastructure, better healthcare facilities, better education, etc. etc. Reduce corruption. This is a very important point. RTI reduces corruption. You see, secrecy leads to corruption. RTI, on the other hand, creates a demand of accountability, which significantly reduces the secrecy of the public authorities. Number five, survival of democracy. Government exists to serve us, and people must have a right to know how they are governed. You see, our democracy is a representative democracy. We elect our representatives. So I think we, the citizens of India, must have a right to know what are the decisions taken by the people who represent us. Number six, and a very important point, promotes accountability of acts and omissions of public officials. By doing so, people get to know about the policies, what they are entitled to, and etc. Number seven, it promotes people's participation. This act empowers people to get definite and direct answers from the government officials themselves. Thus, it promotes the people's participation in good governance. Eighth, press freedom. Press plays a very important role in our day-to-day life. It keeps us informed about various things. And in order to do this in a more better way, a proficient way, press needs access to information. Thus, RTI does a huge help to press and media. And coming to the 10th point and the most important point is empowerment of citizens. The basic need of this revolutionary statute is that it empowers citizens. It empowers them to be a part, to know their government in a better way. It promotes transparency and accountability, demands accountability, that government must tell the citizens how it's functioning and what they are doing. So I would like to conclude by saying RTI has been recognized as a fundamental human right, and greater the access of citizens to information, greater the responsiveness of the government to community needs. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Akash Khan and I am going to say about the comparative analysis between the RTI and the Consumer Protection Act. Now let's begin. The first basis of my distinction is both these acts were framed for two different reasons. The RTI was framed to provide the citizens the right to seek information from any public authority which is situated within the country, and that authority is supposed to reply within a time span of 30 days, whereas the Consumer Protection Act or the CPA was framed to safeguard the interest of the consumers of the country. Now the second basis of my distinction is the aim. The RTI aims to promote transparency and accountability in the working of the public authority, whereas the Consumer Protection Act aims to provide simple and speedy redressal to the consumer disputes which arises. Now, the third basis of my distinction is RTI. What are the requirements before filing a RTI and a consumer complaint? Now, before filing a consumer complaint, there has to be a damage, injury, or loss which has been incurred by the consumers against which it goes and files a suit under the Consumer Redressal Forum. Whereas there is no such conditions required before filing a RTI. That is, RTI can be filed just before just for seeking knowledge or just for knowing or getting any information regarding a public authority. Now, the fourth point or the fourth basis is a bit tricky one. That is, right to information is also incorporated under the CPA or the Consumer Protection Act. Yes, it is correct. Now, the right to information is also given to the consumers of the country, but to a limited scope. That is, the information is regarding any particular product or service which the consumer wants to avail. Whereas under the RTI Act, the right to information is regarding a public authority that the citizens wants to know some information, wants to get knowledge regarding any particular public authority, but under the CPA, the right to information is regarding the product or the service. Now, by so far, we all have one question in doubt. That is whether we can approach a consumer forum or file a consumer complaint after filing a RTI or not. And if so, will it be amount to a breach of the section provided under the RTI Act? Now, for answering these two questions, we have to look into a case. That is the case of Dr. S.P. Thirumala Rao versus Municipal Commissioner of the Mysore city. It was in this case that it was held that any citizens who seeks an information from a public authority and files an application and pays the prescribed fees, then under the RTI Act, now that particular citizen also becomes a consumer under the Consumer Protection Act, and the PIO or the Public Information Officer who provides with the information becomes the service provider under the CPA. Now, if PIO fails to provide the information within a span of 30 days, that amounts to a deficiency in service. Now, if the PIO also provides inaccurate information or incomplete information, or he does not provide any information, this it all amounts to deficiency in service by the public authority. Now, in this particular case, the citizen can approach a consumer forum regarding help or for seeking redressal. Now, the question is that will it be amount to any breach of the sections provided under the RTI Act? Now, in this particular case, it was also held that it will not amount to be any breach of the section, just like the section 23 of the RTI Act, which bars the jurisdiction of the court. And it was also held that by filing a consumer complaint after filing a RTI, it will not also challenge the order which have been passed by the Information Commission. Now, the rest part will be guided by my friends.